My own friend convinced my husband that I cheated on him, and he kicked me out of our house. Now she's finally admitted she lied. I, 25F, don't even know where to start because I'm devastated. She, 25F, was my best friend for over 10 years, like a sister to me. I trusted her with everything, but clearly I meant nothing to her. She stabbed me in the back because I married the man she wanted. And that's important to note because that's why she did all this. 8 years ago, we met my husband, 29M, at college. We were in our first year and he was the assistant to one of our professors. The three of us became very close until he and I started dating. At that point, she never told me she had feelings for him, so I never questioned my relationship with him. Over the years, I trusted her with very important things about my husband and myself. The last thing I confided in her was that I was pregnant. I even told her before I told my husband because I took the pregnancy test while I was with her. I trusted her with my whole life. When the test came back positive, we both cried because it was a planned baby. Now, knowing that all that seemed so genuine was fake, just hurts my chest. 6 months have passed since that day, and my husband started acting weird. He was always mad at me for no reason. Finally, I confronted him. He told me he was mad because he knew the truth. I asked him what he was talking about, and he showed me all the evidence of my supposed infidelity. They were chats from a dating app between a man and me. I put me in quotes because I never created that account. Someone else did and used my photos that I never posted anywhere, so it's impossible that anyone could have stolen them from my social media. In those chats, I supposedly told this man that I was pregnant and didn't know if it was his or my husband's. I even talked to that man about recent sexual encounters while I was pregnant, things no husband or wife wants to read about their partner. I told my husband that everything was fake and asked where he got those screenshots. He told me they were from my old phone, a phone I supposedly used to talk to other men. He said my best friend told him everything because she couldn't look him in the eye knowing the truth. Apparently, she knew about my infidelities and told him to look for evidence on my old phone, and he did. That's why he'd been acting weird for the last few weeks. Of course, I told him my friend was lying and that she probably used my phone without me knowing. I assured him I never created any account and that I've only ever slept with him. We had a fight and called her to confront her, but she just said she was sorry and didn't want to keep lying to one friend to save the other's ass. She insisted that I was a cheater. I couldn't convince my husband that I was innocent because the evidence made me look guilty. He was furious and told me to pack my stuff and get out, saying he wanted a divorce and a paternity test. I went to my mother's house and we did the paternity test, which of course confirmed that the baby is his. But he still didn't believe I hadn't cheated. We had more fights after the paternity test, and I ended up in the hospital because of the stress. Apparently, that made my so-called friend see reason because she told my husband everything he saw was fake and that she made both accounts, mine and the man's. She said she did it out of jealousy because I was pregnant and he wasn't paying attention to her anymore. She claimed she lost her mind and acted in the worst way possible, and now she was really sorry. She thought he would get mad for a few days and then forgive me because she knew he loved me too much to forgive me anything. Since her confession, my husband has apologized 1,000 times. We've talked a lot about what happened, and we've decided to give ourselves some space and start going to therapy, but I'm not sure if that will be enough. Our relationship is in tatters, and I'm afraid we can't work this out. How could we? We said and did horrible things during fights. At one point, he told me to pack my stuff. When I refused, he took me by the arm to do it. I pushed him and he hit a piece of furniture. He took me by the arms again, but this time he shook me. He's much stronger than I am, being skinny compared to him and tall. When he did that, it really hurt me. I don't know if we can be who we were in the past again. We used to fight rarely, and when we did, there was never any violence. How can we fix this other than therapy? Update. Thank you for all the messages and comments on my first post. I really appreciated it. Things have gotten a lot better since then. We talked to my now ex-friend, and she admitted to using my old phone to create that fake profile and also to message the other man. I put the other man in quotes because that man never existed. It was her. She used that phone whenever she came to my house because we had a business together. She knew where the phone was and that no one ever used it, so she had everything perfectly planned out. It's scary because she clearly needs help. With all this, it's evident that she is a psychopath. She confessed to everything she did, even telling my husband that she drove me to meet that man multiple times. She claimed I made her pay with her card for the hotel where I supposedly met him, but I was never in any of those hotels. All her fabrications sounded real, and the messages looked very convincing. I understand why my husband believed her. If the roles had been reversed, maybe I would have believed it too. On the other hand, my husband and I are still trying to cope with everything. After that violent episode, things became really hard between us. It's not easy to save a marriage once violence is involved, but we're trying. I came back home, and for now, things are fine. However, sometimes it's really warm here, and I wear t-shirts. He doesn't even want to look at me because I still have bruises from his hands on my arms. They don't look too bad now, but they're still there after almost 2 months, and I guess they'll take a while to go away since I have very pale and sensitive skin. My arms don't hurt anymore, so I don't mind the bruises. He has apologized for what he did, and I forgave him because it affected us both. I understand that we both got violent and we're both guilty for screwing up our relationship. Like I said, we're still trying to get over it, and I guess it will take some time. It won't be easy, but we are committed to working hard so that everything improves before our baby arrives in a few weeks. That's why we started individual and couples therapy. We hope everything gets better. Right now, we're focused on preparing the baby's room and buying things for her. That's helping us, and our relationship is slowly getting back to how it was before. I'm really happy about that because we've loved each other for 8 years. The last thing I wanted was to throw away our relationship after all that time. I know how good it was before, and this was the first time we both reacted like this. We promise each other it will never happen again, and we will do everything possible to ensure it doesn't. So that's all for now. Now on to the next story. I saw my stepmom's Reddit account and found out she hates me. I'm really pissed off and need to vent. I even cried reading the things she said, and I don't know what to do. I don't need any advice, just want to get this off my chest. My dad's been married to my stepmom for 5 years. He and my mom divorced when my younger brother was 2. There's no drama between them, and they've had great co-parenting ever since. I've got a 17-year-old sister, Ava, a 16-year-old brother, and a 25. My dad and stepmom also have a 3-year-old son together. I found my stepmom's Reddit account totally by accident. I only come home on weekends because I'm in the police academy during the week, and I let her use my computer while I'm away. She forgot to log out of her email, and I wasn't planning on looking at it, but the sheer number of notifications from step-parent subreddits caught my attention. Curiosity got the best of me. I clicked on one of her recent posts and was shocked. She was talking about my life, trashing my decisions, and even making up lies to get sympathy from strangers. She posted about how happy she feels when my siblings and I aren't at home. Ava adores her, but she posted comments about how she can't wait until we turn 18 and move out because she only wants to live with her real family, meaning my dad and her son. It's clear she doesn't think of us as family at all. She wrote that it's perfectly okay to not love your stepchildren because they're not real family. She even complained about my dad and brother having sleepovers, where they just watch a series together and fall asleep in the playroom. She hates hearing the laughter and says she's counting down the days until we're all gone. The part that hurt the most was finding out she despises learning sign language for my sister, Ava. Ava has been so patient and always thought that my stepmom was just struggling to learn it. But now I know she never really tried and even found it stupid to learn how to communicate with her. Ava has always excused her struggles and believed it was her fault when stepmom didn't understand her. Turns out, my stepmom just doesn't care. What disgusts me the most is her jealousy over the time my dad spends with us. She wrote some sick stuff about me and Ava being too clingy with my dad and even sexualized my relationship with him. I take naps with my dad sometimes, hugging him, and she made that out to be some disgusting thing. He is my father. What kind of person sees something sexual in that? I've got screenshots of everything, including video proof that it's her account, but I don't want my siblings to find out before I talk to them. I know how this kind of post can blow up and end up on TikTok or some other site, so I deleted the post for now to prevent it from spreading. Thankfully, my siblings don't use Reddit or watch that kind of content, so they haven't seen it. I'm planning to repost once I've talked to my family. I just hope the people on Reddit can keep it under wraps for now, though I doubt they will. Being a stepmom is hard. Yeah, sure. There's a huge difference between saying it's stressful and I hate when my stepdaughter hugs her dad because I think she's trying to fuck him. She even said that learning sign language is unnecessary because once Ava turns 18, she won't have to see her again. She called it a waste of time because Ava can read lips. How heartless can you be? People were agreeing with her too, saying it's not normal to hug my dad or that it's weird for me to nap with him. Sorry that my family actually loves each other and doesn't see affection as something perverted. Update. I haven't talked to my dad yet, but I did talk to my mom and siblings. I went to my mom's house instead of staying with a friend like I told my dad. I showed my mom everything, translating the posts and comments for her since she doesn't use Reddit. She was furious. I explained to her that SM meant stepmom and BM, biological mom, meant biological mom, and she was even more upset to see how SM lied about her in the posts. My mom and stepmom have always had a cordial relationship, so these lies were just insane. In her posts, SM painted my mom as some kind of problem, and people online told her to move away with her real family. Next, we told my brother. He was upset, but he also said he's noticed SM ignoring Ava before. He said it was weird that she still hadn't learned sign language after all these years, especially since we all use it at home. Even my dad offered to pay for SM to take classes, but she claimed she didn't have time. My brother also said SM refuses to let him take care of our half-brother, the toddler, which I've experienced too. But oddly, she does let Ava babysit him sometimes. She's never treated my brother badly, but he found her behavior suspicious. When we told Ava, she was the most hurt. She cried, especially after hearing the horrible comments SM made about me, calling me a whore for wearing a bikini at the pool. It's ironic how the things said about her hurt me, and the things said about me hurt her. Ava noticed something I didn't. Almost all of SM's posts were about me and her. She didn't say much about our brother, except to complain about his sleepovers and late nights out with friends. But she criticized Ava's and my clothes, made up lies about my life, and constantly expressed jealousy over how close we are to our dad. Ava thinks SM has some kind of mental issue or deep-seated jealousy. The worst part for Ava was realizing that SM was never interested in learning sign language. Ava's worked so hard to help her, and every time SM ignored her, Ava blamed herself. Now we know SM never cared. We all agreed to confront SM and tell our dad. I went ahead and spoke to SM first, telling her that I'd seen her Reddit account and that we were going to talk to Dad. She tried to defend herself, saying it was just a place to vent. I told her that venting is one thing, but spreading lies and hate online is something else. She locked herself in her room and refused to talk to me anymore. Once we all sat down with Dad, I showed him the posts. He was shocked. He couldn't believe Issam had been hiding all these feelings for years. He told her that if she had issues with us, she should have spoken up instead of turning to Reddit. He was disgusted by the way she sexualized my relationship with him and how happy she seemed whenever Ava was in the hospital and not around. He told her she knew he had kids when they got married and that he'd never abandon us. Stepmom just kept defending herself, saying she needed a place to vent. My dad told her that venting is not the same as hating your stepchildren and lying about them. My mom told my dad she wouldn't allow Ava and my brother to be around someone like that anymore. In the end, my dad told SM he couldn't trust her anymore and that their marriage was over. He's staying at my mom's place for now, but he'll still see my half-brother every day. Stepmom just kept defending her actions, saying it was all justified because being a stepmom is hard. Nothing went the way I expected. I thought maybe she'd apologize or realize what she did was wrong, but she didn't. She sees herself as the victim, and I guess she'll never change. Hey, it's been a while since I posted an update, and honestly, I kind of forgot. Not too much has happened, but I wanted to check in for those of you who were concerned. My little brother Matt has been visiting us, and our dad is still staying at my mom's place. Thankfully, my stepmom allows my dad to bring Matt over during the week and on weekends. I deleted her Reddit account weeks ago, and she hasn't mentioned anything about it or seeing any TikToks or posts. Maybe she's too scared to go back on Reddit now. I only deleted her posts because there were just too many comments, and honestly, I didn't want to waste my time deleting them all. I'm not even sure if the comments got deleted along with the account or not. As far as my dad and stepmom's relationship goes, I won't go into too much detail. She's still denying that she did anything wrong, and her thinking towards women is pretty misogynistic. She seems unwilling to change. It's crazy knowing this darker side of her, yet she still acts normal around my dad and Matt. My dad is separated from her now, but he hasn't filed for divorce yet because of financial issues. She said that if they ever got back together, she wouldn't let me back into her house, so my dad's pretty much done with her. I'm not sure what legal arrangement they have for the house, but it looks like my dad plans to leave it to her and find a place to rent. He wants to minimize the stress for Matt, and moving could be tough on a toddler, so it's best for Matt to stay where he's comfortable. Neither I nor my siblings have any issues with that. We just want Matt to have a stable home life. So, yeah, that's where things are. It feels like forever, but it's only been a month, and these serious situations always take time. For now, I'm just grateful that Matt can still spend time with us. Update 2, October 5th, 224. 0.5 months later. Hello again. I thought I'd give one last update for a while since divorce proceedings take a long time, especially with a young child involved. If my dad and stepmom can agree on things, the divorce could be finalized in 3 months. If not, it might drag on for a year. It all depends on them. This update might be a little boring, but I want to reassure everyone who is worried about me and my siblings. My dad has copies of all the screenshots, including a video showing me accessing her account from her email. I don't know if that will help much with the divorce, considering how gray the internet laws are here, but it's better for him to have it just in case. Stepmom will likely be out of the picture in about 3 months if everything goes smoothly. Thankfully, she still lets Matt come to our mom's house to spend time with us and dad, which happens almost every day. My dad plans to leave her the house so Matt can stay in a stable environment, and I've told him not to worry about me staying there on the weekends. I have no interest in living under the same roof as her anymore. The last time I tried talking to my stepmom, I asked if she had any shame for what she did, and she completely ignored me. My sister Ava has been the most affected by all of this. She feels like stepmom discriminated against her because of her disability, and honestly, I believe her. Ava has shared stories of subtle behaviors from our stepmom that she brushed off before, but now realizes were small acts of aggression. For example, my brother Josh remembered that stepmom once said, "Your dad's sons come out of the oven just right." At the time, he thought it was a random comment, but looking back, he wonders if there was a double meaning aimed at me and Ava, implying we weren't right. We used to ignore those comments, brushing them off, but now it feels like they had more malice behind them. Stepmom never apologized for anything. She's one of those people who believes the husband should prioritize the wife over the children, which, in my opinion, is ridiculous. She's clearly jealous of me and Ava. Who's jealous of their husband's daughters? She admits now that her only mistake was writing those things on Reddit instead of in a private diary. Maybe in 10 years, she'll see the bigger picture. My dad, understandably, has stopped trying to have mature conversations with her. They're headed for divorce, and I think stepmom saw it coming because she hasn't put up much of a fight. Divorce is long and expensive, so for now, my parents and even my stepmom, who, to be fair, is a good mom to Matt, are focusing on making things as smooth as possible for him. My dad will likely get joint custody since he works and can't care for Matt full time. Plus, he doesn't have a home yet. My brother Josh is the least affected by all of this. His attitude is basically, "Dad, she's a jerk, just find another girlfriend." I guess that's how teenage boys handle things, but it's still kind of amusing to me.